You ever notice how people in love tend to latch onto a particular movie? Especially the ones with sad endings. It's like they use those films as a sort of emotional roadmap. Melancholy, longing, all that bittersweet stuff. And while that's relatable, I think we should also appreciate love when it's happening, right there in the moment. That's why Punch Drunk Love by Paul Thomas Anderson stands out to me. It's not your typical love story, but that's what makes it essential for anyone who's really feeling love. It's weird, messy, and awkward in the best way, just like the real thing. But before I start my rant, let's hear from PTA himself what Punch Drunk Love is all about.
It's about getting in tune. It's a love story between Adam and Emily.
Right.
About a guy with 7 sisters.
Right.
With 4 blonde crazy brothers coming after him. And it's just about getting in tune and finding your music, I think.
That's what it is? What would you add to that?
It's love, loneliness, becoming happy with yourself and comfortable with yourself and trying to lose some insecurities and growing up.
Getting out of your house.
Getting out of your house.
And here's why Punch Drunk Love is such a compelling must-watch experience for those in love. Unlike traditional romantic comedies or dramas that often present love as either a grand dramatic gesture or a sweet, easy connection, Punch Drunk Love features a protagonist who is far from the charming, confident lead we usually expect. Barry Egan, played by Adam Sandler, is socially awkward, emotionally repressed, and burdened by his anxiety. He doesn't fit into the mold of a conventional romantic hero, but that's exactly why the film feels so real. It shows that love can happen to anyone, even those who feel unworthy or incapable of receiving it. Barry's journey resonates with the idea that love often arrives when we are least prepared, and that it doesn't demand perfection. His flaws, his anger issues, insecurities, and loneliness make him a deeply relatable character. People in love often realize that they too are imperfect, and that love is not about erasing those imperfections, but about finding someone who accepts and loves you in spite of them. This is why Punch Drunk Love speaks to the authenticity of relationships in a way that many glossy, idealized romantic films do not. At its core, Punch Drunk Love is a story about how love can act as a transformative force. Barry is trapped in a life of monotony and emotional suppression, isolated by his overwhelming family dynamics and crippling loneliness. However, when he meets Lena, played by Emily Watson, love enters his life like a storm, disruptive but liberating. The title Punch Drunk Love itself suggests that love hits him like a punch, leaving him reeling but also propelling him towards self-discovery. Lena, while also unconventional, accepts Barry for who he is, flaws and all. Her presence in his life is not about fixing him, but about giving him the space to become the best version of himself. For anyone who's been in love, this aspect of the film feels deeply truthful. Love doesn't complete us in the way that some films romanticize it to, but it allows us to grow into our full potential. The relationship between Barry and Lena captures this transformative power of love beautifully. It's messy, awkward, and strange, but it's also real and emotionally raw. Paul Thomas Anderson, known for his heavy, intricate dramas like Magnolia and Boogie Nights, surprises audiences by delivering a romantic comedy with Punch Drunk Love. However, true to his signature style, Anderson subverts the genre's conventions. This isn't a typical boy meets girl, everything works out neatly love story. Instead, it's a chaotic and surreal experience that mirrors the unpredictability of real-life relationships. The film blends moments of humor with darkness, creating a tone that reflects the absurdity of love. For anyone who has experienced the highs and lows of being in love, Punch Drunk Love encapsulates that whirlwind sensation. There is a moment of sheer joy, like Barry's impromptu trip to Hawaii to be with Lena, but there is also moments of danger and fear, like when Barry's bottled up anger leads to violent outbursts. Anderson's decision to incorporate elements of suspense, awkwardness, and even a subplot involving a phone sex extortion scheme is a bold choice that emphasizes how love, like life, is full of unexpected twists. For people in love, this film offers a more honest depiction of how messy and strange love can be, far from the polished, neat narratives of typical Hollywood romances. What makes Punch Drunk Love a must-watch for anyone in love is its attention to the small, intimate moments that are often overlooked in grand cinematic love stories. The film's romance is built on gestures and exchanges that feel deeply personal. When Barry finally kisses Lena, it's not set against a sweeping landscape or accompanied by an orchestral score. Instead, it happens in a hallway in a quiet, unassuming moment that feels tender and real. This focus on intimacy reflects the everyday moments that make up real relationships. The film suggests that love isn't about grand gestures or perfect timing, but about the connection that grows in the quiet, in between spaces. Anyone who has been in a long-term relationship understands that these moments, small acts of kindness, vulnerability, and affection, are what sustain love over time. At the heart of Punch Drunk Love is a deep exploration of vulnerability. Barry's character arc is about learning to open up to someone else, despite the fear and emotional baggage he carries. His hesitance and his gradual opening up to Lena reflect the anxieties many people face in relationships. In love, we often grapple with the fear of being exposed, of being rejected once our true selves are revealed. For people in love, watching Barry's emotional healing and the tenderness Lena brings into his life serves as a reminder that vulnerability is not a weakness but a strength. The film doesn't romanticize the process of falling in love as a cure for all emotional wounds. Instead, it portrays love as a space where healing is possible, but only through the courage to be vulnerable with another person. Punch Drunk Love is not just a love story told through dialogues and performances. It's also conveyed through its quirky, dreamlike visual style and John Barry's eclectic soundtrack. The burst of color, the surreal interludes, and the frenetic pacing all mirrors Barry's inner turmoil and the chaos that love brings into his life. For anyone who has experienced the disorienting, euphoric nature of falling in love, the film's aesthetic choices heighten that feeling. The visuals capture the disjointed, almost hallucinatory state of being punch drunk in love, where the world around you starts to feel different, more vibrant, more intense, and occasionally overwhelming. Punch Drunk Love stands out as a must-watch film for anyone in love because it defies expectations, offering an honest, intimate, and at times surreal depiction of what love can look like. It speaks to the imperfect, awkward, and sometimes painful process of finding connection, but it also shows that love, when it happens, can be a powerful force of transformation and healing. Paul Thomas Anderson's film reminds us that love isn't about perfection, but about acceptance, vulnerability, and the beauty that can be found in the messy, chaotic experience of life. For those in love, it's a cinematic experience that resonates deeply with the real complexities of relationships. So what's your go-to movie recommendation for someone who is in love? Do tell me in the comments below, and as always, thanks a ton for watching. You guys are the best, and I'll catch you in the next one.